But how will all of these overnight cues impact our own Indian markets? We now have our research team joining in with how the trade setup looks like and the stocks that are likely to be in the news. First up, Hormaz joins in to get us all the market cues we need to watch out for today. Good morning, Hormaz.
Morning, Vamakshi. And indeed, we have been stuck in this range, right, all through this last week. But we are making highs, but we are failing to sustain at those levels. And if you could take a look at the last three sessions, the cumulative gain that the Nifty has had is all of 18 points. So not much movement on the benchmark index, and these tensions at the border is what is keeping sentiments in check on the benchmark index. Although that does not take away from the fact that there is a lot of stock specific activity that is taking place, the earnings reactions that are coming in, particularly in the broader markets, and they are at the extremes as well. Even on Friday's session, we saw stocks like Godrej Agrovet, Phoenix Mills, Indus Towers, all of them reacting to results. All of them were smashed anywhere between 8 to 14% in Friday's session. And today, a big determinant of how the Nifty moves will be subject to how the Nifty Bank moves, and that will be subject to how SBI and both Kotak Bank react to their respective results that were reported on Saturday. And even the Nifty Bank as well, that 55,000 range on the downside remains the important level to watch out for. The Nifty is stuck in that range. Of course, the Friday's high, which is 24,589, remains the key level to watch on the upside. And on the downside, of course, it will be last Monday's low of 24,054, which is an important level to watch out for. Of course, keep an eye out on the Nifty Pharma Index this week because there are a lot of pharma earnings that will be reported. And of course, keep an eye out on JSW Steel, which was the top Nifty loser on Friday. See any follow-up action there as well. But for now, there is a gap up start is what the GIFT Nifty is pointing to. No significant cues from Asia because most markets are shut, but remains to be seen if this gap up sustains as the day goes by.
Absolutely, will be important to see if this gap up sustains. Thank you so much for that, Hormaz. But now over to Ria, who's here to tell us which are the important stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Morning, Ria.
Well, yes, good morning. Let's take a look at the stocks that are going to be in focus today. First up is SBI on the back of its Q4 numbers. The net profit has seen a decline of around 10% on a year-on-year basis, and the net interest income has seen an increase of around 1.5% to rupees 42,774 crores. The gross net profit ratio in this quarter has declined to a 14-year low. We also have Kotak Mahindra Bank reporting its Q4 numbers. The net profit this time around has seen a decrease to around 3,551 crores, but the net interest income has increased on a year-on-year basis to 7,283 odd crores in this quarter. Moving on to Indian Bank, the net profit has seen an increase of around 32% on a year-on-year basis. Net interest income has also gone up by around 6% to rupees 6,389 crores. DMart has also reported its Q4 numbers. Revenue has seen an increase of around 17% over the previous year, but the margins this time around have come in at just about 6.4% versus 7.4% that we saw in Q4 of last year. City Union Bank net interest income has seen an increase of around 9.8% on a year-on-year basis, and the provisions this time around have come in at 78 crores versus 75 crores that we saw in Q3 of this year. Adani Ports has come out with its operational update for the month of April. The cargo volumes have gone up around 4% on a year-on-year basis, and the logistics rail volumes have also seen an increase of around 17% over the previous year. NTPC will be in focus since its arm has declared commercial operations of 60 megawatts out of the 150 megawatts at the Gujarat solar PV project. Concord Biotech will remain in focus since the USFDA has issued Form 483 with 4 observations for its Dholka-based API facility. Shilpa Medicare will also be in focus since its biologics arm has received the EU GMP clearance for its Dharwad plant. Ircon International has bagged orders worth rupees 458 odd crores from Northeastern Electric Power Corporation. Azad Engineering has signed a long-term supply agreement worth around rupees 452 crores with GE Steam Power based in Switzerland for the manufacturing and supply of stationary airfoils for power generation. Lastly, AU Small Finance Bank will be in focus, and sources suggest that a big block deal has been launched in this company, and the total deal size will be rupees 600 crores, and the floor price has been set at rupees 650 per share.
Well, thank you so much for that, Ria. And finally, we now have Mangalam joining in with cues from the F&O space. A gap up start, Mangalam, but what is the F&O outlook looking like?
A gap up start. Let's see where it goes. Why do I say that? Because if you look at the previous trading session on Friday as well, the Nifty consolidated. We had the mid-cap index, which was under pressure, and the Nifty Bank also almost gave up all of its gains. In fact, that's been the trend all of last week and some parts of last month as well. If you look at, Nifty from April 24th, 25th, 29th, and even May 2nd, which was Friday, They hit highs of 24,350 to almost 24,600, and from highs, the close was either 100 or almost 300 points lower on Friday as well. It was 246 points lower from the highs itself. But what's good is that the FIIs, they continue to show love for the Indian markets. Both FIIs and DIIs have bought nearly 7 sessions in a row together, but FIIs themselves have bought for 12 consecutive sessions in cash, and that is a fairly strong support that has come in. Additionally, they've also continued to nibble around in the index futures. They bought about 295 crores, added about 1,500 long contracts, and as a result of which their net exposure stands at 47%, and net shorts are at just a negligible 8,500 contracts itself, which is a long way away from what we saw sometime last week itself, which was at 35,000 on the short side itself. On the way up, though, 24,500 call writers are fairly active for a premium of 91 rupees. 24,400 put writers on the way down are equally active for a premium of 200 rupees, telling you 24,200 to 24,600 is the broad range that the option writers are positioning themselves for. Were we to break down below that range, then the 200-day moving average, which is also the April low, comes into play, which is 2451 for the Nifty. The index to watch out for today will be the Nifty Bank. Does it hold on to that 55,000 mark? The question to that will be answered by how SBI and Kotak Mahindra Bank fare. In fact, SBI is better than expectations. The stock ended higher on Friday. Kotak Mahindra Bank, slight miss on expectations. The stock actually ended lower on Friday ahead of numbers.
Okay, Mangalam, thank you so much for that. Surely we'll be keeping an eye out on Nifty Bank and especially SBI as well as Kotak as well.